welcome to the Blaze Hackman podcast. And today I'm talking about unfinished business with EA and Battlefield 1. This audio is extracted from my YouTube, and you'll be able to see the footage in the background of Battlefield 1. Some game capture from my good squad member Njern, and that's on the Scott Industries website. You can find that on YouTube. But basically I put it on both platforms and give you the best of both worlds. So if you hear me talking about stuff visually, then you'll know that you can see that on the YouTube, but I'll try and make it as descriptive as possible. But yeah, today talking about unfinished business on Battlefield 1. I've been gaming for a long time, actually been in the media for a long time. I was on the air and commercial radio, worked as an actor, worked as a professional voiceover, and have always dabbled in gaming and online. And, you know, a podcast and YouTube are a natural platform for me, natural evolution. And it's more control as well, because you can talk about the things you really like and appreciate. And so I guess being an older person, and honestly I can tell you now, I've been there since Space Invaders. I've seen the evolution of gaming from just block pixels to where it is now. So it might give you a little bit of an overview of my actual age range. We won't go into that. But I think it's very useful because, you know, being sort of young in heart is one thing, and it also helps you kind of appreciate where we've come from and emerging technologies and embrace them as well and not be resistant to them. I think that for me, about gaming personally, has the most compelling thing is not so much the actual games or some sort of KD statistic. It's more about the journey. It's more about problem solving. It's more about playing the perfect game. I started out, I guess, when I was playing online. Well, it's actually started at university when a friend of mine networked computer lab with some old iMacs, and we had Quake Arena, and that was playing on 4 or 5 machines at once, and then we'd break into that computer lab. I think that's the most use that those computers ever got, and that was such good fun. And then it kind of evolved to online playing Call of Duty on the Xbox and Battlefield 1. And then the old COD 4 I thought was a fantastic game. A little bit fast, but, you know, what was more interesting was glitching, finding exploits in the map, finding ways out of the map. And if you go through my YouTube channel, the history of this channel, go back like 6-7 years, you can see I've posted stuff from Battlefield 2, Call of Duty on those glitches. And I really started getting into it, glitching, and really starting to annoy people, and because I would not play the game. I'd just be sort of sitting there in a corner of the map somewhere trying to get up on that rock or through that wall. And one of the best moments was in, was it Call of Duty? No, sorry, Battlefield 3 on, what's that, Earthquake map? Epicenter. And there was just an area there where I thought that I could get to, because I predicted there'd be a secret wall, like an invisible wall, which I'll be able to climb across and get to another area. And it actually existed. And it took a bit of technique to get up to that area, but I did it. Lots of trial and error, lots of jumping into space, and lots of swearing. So to me, it was more about the puzzle solving. And professionally, having worked, had an interest in technology, and lately being qualified as a lawyer, but in a particular area of the law that I'm interested in is, penetration testing, hacking, AI, and also just the way that hackers and people with ill intent compromise a system, and the idea of how a system can be broken and how it can be exploited. And I think now, especially when we're all heading to the cloud and we think it's safe, and that's where the vulnerability is. There's a lot more opportunities for hackers to obtain masses of data. So I've studied that, have a natural curiosity for it, and in video games there's always little faults. So even the footage you're seeing now, there's you can get above this bunker. They might have patched it, but you blow the team member up, and then you revive them. And if they're over the other side of that invisible wall, back in that other area, then you can get above the map. So stuff like that. And it's always a bit of fun being the first person to find it. In the Battlefield 5 beta recently, I don't know if anyone else had. I can't see it online, but there was a way to get up on the train shed on Rotterdam. I had a friend of mine come along and said, it's a 2-person glitch, you can help me get up there, and we got up there, and it really wasn't that hard. So there's some kind of meditation or relaxation in being able to find these glitches and find these exploits. And some people are like, oh, you're cheating. Look, I can't say that I've never entered a public server and sat in a spot that I could get to. I've never used aimbot or any of that sort of stuff, but I have gotten to places where people, if you're playing a hardcore game and there's no replay of who's killed you, then it's very hard for people to find you if you're hidden up in some remote area of some building because you got there creatively. But ultimately, some of the glitches are so difficult, it takes so long to get up there, so long to set it up, that you're actually statistically hurting yourself and not getting as many kills as you might think. But all you get is a feeling of being smug. So that's kind of like what I'm about. And I think that glitches and Easter eggs are two different things, because glitches, well, there's probably 3 categories we're looking at here. A glitch is something that really shouldn't happen in a game that allows you to exploit it and maybe cheat. And then I should be careful about using the term glitch. Sometimes there's a place you can get to which is not a glitch, it's just bad design. And so you can get to a spot and you can, have a bit of fun there. But it's, I even think sometimes they leave them in there. The Battlefield 5 one I found recently, and to get on the train carriages on Rotterdam, it can be done very simply, and I'm sure they left it there on purpose. It's just like for people, maniacs like me, to find out. And then there's Easter eggs, which is that game they're actually placing in the game, the developers. And it was, previous Battlefield titles, you've had Megalodons. Fort de Vaux, you've got a Megalodon under a bomb crater, which makes no sense at all. Not even the environment for that kind of shark. I think it's landlocked, so I don't know what the mystery is there or what kind of link they're trying to make. But it's a bit of fun. And literally baskets of Easter eggs on Valkyrie, on some of the maps. So there's plenty of Easter eggs in Battlefield 1. They've been intentionally left there by the developers for you to find. And in Battlefield 4, they had the Phantom Bow, so you could get into, well, you'd go around, you'd find these, from memory, these little secret dog tag boxes, and then you collect like 4 of them, and then you and your squad members would be able to, if you had those on you, get into an elevator on another map, the hangar map, and then go down to a secret, and then unlock another code, and then you get the Phantom Bow. So, and it wasn't a very good weapon, but it was the challenge, it was the journey. And so these coded, messages and these rewards started creeping to the game. And then it really, I guess one that really, the early one, which was uncovered very recently, was in Doom 2. There was a secret room you could get to, but you had to go through a portal, and people could never get into this portal. This is a rough explanation. And then one gamer recently found out by accident that if a monster pushed you into that teleportal, that device, then you could get through to the room. And that was confirmed on Twitter by a developer. So this is a very, that's a 25-year Easter egg. And so these Easter eggs have been creeping into the game. And I know other games I've heard have very, very long Easter eggs. And in Battlefield 4, the Phantom Bow was kind of a mysterious object, but there was no kind of narrative to it. So the point I'm making here is that there's a narrative to the Easter eggs in Battlefield 1. It's like the ultimate tease, and unlike other Easter eggs, it's telling me there's something's going to happen. And I just don't know why anyone's not talking about this. It's like when Joe Rogan interviewed Elon Musk recently, and everyone was talking about Elon Musk smoking a joint, but what they didn't talk about, what people still don't, because I don't think they take it seriously, the only people that do are like Trekkies that were in the audience of his announcement to make the humans an interplanetary species, all weirdos. But he said, we're going to go to Mars, we're going to make it a regular thing to fly to Mars, and rocket to Mars and set up, a human outpost there. And people maybe they don't take it seriously. He's serious, but I don't think everyone else believes it. So in Joe Rogan's 2.5-hour interview, Rogan really didn't talk to Elon Musk much about SpaceX. And he didn't really even talk to him about Mars or any of that, but everyone spoke about the joint. And Elon had a joint. And to me, it's like irrational to actually, after all the information this guy's given you, and he's even said he doesn't smoke grass, he doesn't, I think it's counterproductive, but he did it anyway because it's legal and he was just going with the flow, and Rogan runs a fluid interview. He did it, and everyone's talking about that. And I think that's a mistake. I think it's very inward looking. And I think, you've got basically a guy who's an alien genius. Could be an alien, could be part of the simulation, and no one's getting it. So maybe I'm insane. Maybe I think I'm better than everyone else. I don't know. But the same thing applies, the same thinking applies with this glitch. With this Easter egg and this narrative that's accompanied it in Battlefield 1. Why do I think this? Let's back it up. If we go to the Battlefield 1 Game Detectives Wiki, it kind of says it all here. And I've got all the... Maybe I'm just bitter because I've spent a lot of time getting all these Easter eggs and all these dog tags, right? But it says here, this wiki page documents the ARG that is hidden in Battlefield 1. This page includes step-by-step instructions how to unlock a beginning, a conflict, an omen, angel sighting, and belly of the beast dog tags, the an escalation skin, and the peacekeeper revolver. Okay, so if that's not a narrative, right, I don't know what is. The dog tags are called a beginning, a conflict, an omen. Let's forget about the other ones. If you go and scroll down this page, you can see a whole bunch of information on how to do all the Morse code, and this is the part of the sort of security engineering interest that I have, and sitting down, exporting to MP3. You really had to have a good setup, and then decoding Morse, and then going to locations, and then seeing small designs, and then unlocking dog tags and getting them. And so I did all these, but it was what was written. See, if you look at the conflict, a conflict dog tag, it says, the voices have been silent for too long. What voices? Yeah? What does that mean? Why would you, if it means nothing, why would you write that? An omen. You're making a huge mistake. What's the huge mistake? Is the mistake that to get the Peacekeeper pistol, you have to go down into a 20-level dungeon and get gassed? But I still survive and get the Peacekeeper. To me, that's not enough. Just getting there, dodging gas is not enough. When you there's a room you unlock on Fort DeVoe, which is locked for like a year and a half. When we finally got into that, there was to get there, you had to throw these grenades down a drain pipe, and you could hear a monster down there. You could hear zombie noises, and eventually they run away, and you hear things opening, and then you can get in the door and you go to the next stage, and you're smashing pipes all the time. And there's a guy that opens that secret door in Fort DeVoe, and he disappears. You hear him disappear, and he's never seen again. So everything is pointing to some kind of secret location underneath Fort DeVoe, or some kind of zombie apocalypse. My theory is it's going to be Nazis and experimentation, and that will bleed into the World War II theme of Battlefield 5. That's exactly where I think it's going. So I think that it's not over, and that all the dog tags that you get, you somehow, if you're in a squad and you're the guy that's got all the tags, you're a valuable asset because you can take people to the next level. That's just my theory. But it makes sense, okay? And if you go to the Battlefield 1 Easter Egg Discord, last entry, 26th of August, channel is locked again until something new arises. Good work, everybody. This is a place you go to get help, to unlock tags. And then, it says the Peacekeeper help, beginning, conflict, escalation, omen, dog tag, the room, questions. There are so many different kind of sentences opening up here about something else going on. And what's really annoying is that EA is saying nothing about it. It's like it's all closed down. It's when the Peacekeeper was delivered, there was another Morse code. I think it was through the drips of the taps, and that kind of credited all the people in the development team, which is really annoying because it's like a huge tease. Hey, something's going to happen. Nice flowers. Something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Nothing happens. So I'm putting this out there now that could be delusion, and I'm just talking to myself. But I really think that in Battlefield 5, something is going to happen. Something is going to awaken, and it's going to be unlocked. Nazi zombies, and that will be much easier for people in my position with those tags. All right, that's the Blaze Hackman podcast for today. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Skip across to my Scott Industries YouTube. If I can do it, I will link it as well. And until next time, bye.